Hello BookTube, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who am I'm Amy and this is my BookTube channel. So this is my first book talk. So a book talk is a video where I talk about a book I've recently read and I am supposed to discuss it with you guys and tell you how I liked it, what I feel about it, and yeah. So today I'm talking about Hard Bones by Colleen Hoover. This is a spoiler-free review because I don't know if all of you have read it or not. I read it in one day. I enjoyed it so much. I loved the story, the characters. I'm going to talk in details about what happens in the story, but overall I really have missed Colleen's books. If you don't know, I love Colleen Hoover so much. I love her writing style. I've read most of her books except for like 3 books maybe. I enjoy reading her books so much. So for Colleen's books, I always like going into her books blind without knowing anything, without reading the blurb or reading anything. I just love getting into the story without knowing anything. And throughout the book, I just find twists and plot twists and I love it so much. Another thing I like to do is challenge myself. When a new book comes out, I take the book and challenge myself to read the first chapter, and if I can't put it down after the first chapter, I leave the book for like some time and then come back later. If I can't put it down, I finish the book in like a day or so. So yeah, Colleen's books are just beautiful, and this is absolutely I think it's going to be one of my favorite books by her. So maybe I'm going to make a future video about what's my favorite books by her. Maybe I'm going to finish the books that I've left off and then rank her books. I'll probably do something like that. Tell me if you'd be interested in that. So Hard Bones is about a girl named Baya, and her life is all over the place. She lives with her mother, and some big event, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, will happen. It will make her life change completely. So it's going to leave her with no place to go. So she's going to have to call her father, and the father that she doesn't know anything mostly about, and she's gonna go live with him through the summer, or in the summer in Texas. And with that, her character escalates and things happen. She meets that boy named Samson. Samson is that rich guy who seems very interesting, and they probably are attracted to each other in a beautiful way. They both are attracted to their loneliness and their sadness, and it's a very interesting way. At first she was like that rich boy, and then she finds, through looking at him and spending some time with him, that he's lonely, and it gets interesting throughout the book. And I love their relationship and how they connected with each other's in a very deep way, and how they understood each other's and each other. I don't know if it's each other's or each other. Okay, whatever. So yeah, this is probably a brief. I'll get into the details. Right, so yeah, talking about the characters. So Baya is she's a really strong character. I enjoyed reading through her mind so much. To see her go through the struggles of probably raising herself and being all alone, her character development from the very first start, and how she's very strong, and how her mind gets opened on different opinions, and it's the character development throughout the book. I loved that so much. I loved her opinions that probably changed throughout the book. That's the most interesting part. So a favorite thing about Colleen's books, that she always does that. She always gets you these characters that even if you're probably completely different from the character's life, you still resonate with them in some way or another. And I love that so much. For Samson, I loved his character so much. Throughout the book, I was waiting for this, plot twist that was going to happen, and yes, there's a plot twist that was really great. I loved reading through it, and if Colleen Hoover always does that. She always, you're always confident about knowing the story and what's happening, and then at some point there's this plot twist that changes your mind and you're like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And that's probably my favorite part of her books. Considering the plot, I loved the side characters, that they were not neglectable. For me, I pretty much enjoyed her friendships and the relationship between the characters in the book, and how they affected her opinion, and how she was probably judgmental at the beginning of the book, and throughout she was, she started to realize her judgments and, change her opinion about that. What else? I can tell you how much I love the writing style. It's one of the most amazing writing styles, because she knows how to describe the feelings of the characters, and gives you this feeling inside your heart. That's probably one of my favorite parts, that the writing style is super descriptive, and it tells you how much they're feeling, and you start to feel what they are feeling, and it's probably my favorite. I said this word like 1,000 times now, sorry. Another thing, also, I'm not gonna tell you what is it, the meaning of the title. This is something I loved so much. I loved how I was like, what the hell does hard bones mean? And throughout the book I was like, okay, it's clicking now. And that moment it clicked, I was just super impressed, and I love it so much, the meaning of the title, connecting with the book and the characters, and it was just beautiful. I just can't describe how much I loved it. So overall, the story, it was not, maybe my least favorite part of it was throughout the book. I started to doubt the main character, and I hate that. I hate doubting the main character. But while reading through the main character's eyes, I love connecting with them. But throughout, I was like, oh, I have to trust her, and it was this complicated side of the story, and I loved it so much. So I give this book, I think I gave it like a 5-star on a good read. Maybe it's an absolute 4.5 stars. I enjoyed it so much. I loved how different it is from the other books, yet kind of similar in some ways of, having a plot twist and not knowing stuff and then knowing it by the end. I really, really enjoyed it. I recommend it to people if you want something easy to, take a break from a fantasy book, or try to read something, easy and finishing it in 1 day, 2 days. It's a very, very fast book to read. It's full of emotions, and the type of emotions that throughout the book I wanted to cry so much, but it was not the kind of crying, bawling, crying real tears. It was just, you feel that ache inside of your heart, which is like so much deeper than actual tears. So yeah, that's crazy. Also, I want to read a quote from the book, like maybe 2 quotes or something. There's this, I feel like this quote was very beautiful, and that's how I like Colleen's books. I love how she tries to take the feelings of the character and, give it to you on a plate to just feel. So she said in a very beautiful scene, I feel like a flower being taken out of the shadows and put into the sun. I'm blooming for the first time since I broke through the earth's soil. And come on. Okay, maybe I'm silly. Okay, sorry for saying that part of me. I just enjoy these symbolisms. I think it's a symbol. Yeah, it's a symbolic description, and that's probably my favorite, one of my favorite quotes. Also that I think there is really beautiful fan art being done at the moment by beautiful people who reads books and like making art. The quote says, "You can fill your life with nice things, but nice things don't fill the holes in your soul." And then, what fills the holes in a soul? And someone says, pieces of someone else's soul. And like, okay, come on, you guys. Okay, there are many beautiful quotes in this book, and the way it's written, it was absolutely my favorite. It is probably my recent favorite because by Colleen's books, because I think the last book I loved that much was It Ends With Us, and yeah, absolutely a favorite. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. I don't think it was a very descriptive review. I meant for it to be a tiny one. I'm still working on how I can do reviews without spoilers. So giving you a brief about what happens, and I think that's what I did. Tell me how I did. How did you like that? And hopefully I'll do a series of these talks. I have a bunch of real great books to talk about, and I'm planning on doing that a lot, hopefully. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you read the book, tell me what did you think about it in the comments below. Tell me what's your favorite book by Colleen Hoover. Mine is probably, I can't pick a favorite. I love Maybe Someday. I love It Ends With Us. And I'm probably going to do a whole video about ranking her books at some time, maybe soon, hopefully. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos. And I see you in the next video. Goodbye.